everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Christina, Caregiver Edition. So we are going to be preparing some different dishes that hopefully will equip you guys with some different recipes to have in your back pocket for your clients to be able to feed them nutritious and delicious foods. Many of these you guys already know how to make, so I might be preaching to the choir when it comes to a lot of these dishes. But we're hoping that these tutorials can help those who might not know how to prepare these meals, or if you want some extra ideas and things, to be able to spice up your recipe regimen with your clients. And so I'm so glad to be cooking with you guys. I'm actually here in my own kitchen, and I just wanted to introduce myself. So like I said, my name is Christina, and I do work with the Homestead office in Riverside, and I am the marketing representative for the office. So my job is to share about Homestead with the community, to let people know about the care that we provide for seniors, and that is a very broad way to describe what I do. But essentially, I am, in charge of making sure that others know what kind of quality care we provide. So part of that is providing information on how we do meal preparation. That is a big request for people who are looking to get care for their aging loved ones, is they want them to eat nutritious and delicious meals. And as you know, as a caregiver, that's part of your role too, is to be able to provide nutritious and delicious meals for your clients. And so the heart of why we're doing this is just to be able to, hopefully, like I said, equip you guys with some different tips, tricks, and techniques. Couldn't say that. To be able to better help serve your clients. So we are going to be talking today about another breakfast food. So we did a series on eggs before we did a tutorial on eggs. This one's going to be on another senior favorite. So can you guess which one? If any of you cook breakfast for your clients. It's oatmeal. And not just regular oatmeal out of a bag, which is totally fine. Those little packets are great as well. This is going to be showing you how to actually prepare oatmeal and how to make it delicious and add a little nutrition in there for your clients. So very basic. Again, you guys might not need to know how to do this, but hopefully this helps give you some new ideas if you are interested in learning how to make oatmeal for your clients. We get a lot of calls from different people saying that they love to eat oatmeal in the morning. And so that is a very popular senior item for breakfast. And there's a lot of reasons why seniors enjoy oatmeal, I'm assuming. One of them might be because it's easy to eat, it's easy to digest. There's a lot of healthy fiber in oatmeal, so it's actually really good for you. It's good for helping keeping them regular. It can be, you can add stuff to it. It's just very, very easy and good to make for seniors. So we're going to be making some oatmeal today. The first one that we're going to be doing is a triple berry oatmeal bowl. So that one I'm really excited to show you. That's going to be our fun oatmeal that we're preparing today. The next one is going to be a just basic oatmeal with cinnamon and sugar. Very easy. And the last one, I'm going to show you how to prepare overnight oats. If you've ever heard of overnight oats, they're very easy to make, and they're really easy to be able to make ahead of time for your client to be able to grab in the morning if they need breakfast before you get there. And so that's something you can prepare the day before in order for them to have as a tasty breakfast the next morning. So we're going to show you how to do all of those things. And first of all, for the triple berry oatmeal bowl, that's a mouthful, we're going to be using a couple different ingredients I want to show you. So the first is we're going to use 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. I know you can't really see because of the glare. There you go. Old-fashioned oats right here. We're going to use 1 cup of milk. Now, whole milk, regular, 2%, 1%, doesn't really matter. The higher the percentage or the, closer to whole milk you get, the creamier it will be. So we're going to be using a cup of milk. Also a cup of frozen berries for our triple berry oatmeal bowl. Almost forgot its name. We're going to be using some ground cinnamon that we've got right here, some vanilla extract, as well as we're going to be using a little maple syrup for a sweetener. Don't have a lot left in here. And we're going to be using a pinch of salt, which I don't need to show you because it's a pinch. And then to top it off, we're going to be topping it with vanilla Greek yogurt, which again is kind of hard to see because of the glare. There you go. Vanilla Greek yogurt, which don't knock it till you try it with the yogurt on the oatmeal. It's actually delicious and it makes it very creamy. And then we're going to be topping it with some chopped up pecans as well. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look over here. We've got our pot. So we've got this pot for the berries. This one's going to be just for the regular cinnamon sugar. I could do them simultaneously, and I am going to do that. But I'm going to start with the berries first, and then we're going to move to the cinnamon and sugar one. And then at the end, I'll show you how to do the overnight oats. So for the berry oatmeal, this is going to be really fun. This oatmeal is very easy to throw together. It sounds like it might be a little bit complicated, but I promise you, you can do it. I am not a chef by any means as far as professionally, and so if I can do it, you can too. So let's go ahead and get started with that one. So I'm going to take my pot. I'm going to turn the heat on. I'm going to turn it on like medium. So I'm not going to turn it on super high, but we are going to want it to get to a point where it is boiling. So you don't want it on low. It's not simmering quite yet. So I'm going to turn the heat on medium. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir in the oats. We're going to add the milk. We're going to add the berries. So we're going to add all of this to the actual pot, which is what makes this so easy. The cinnamon, vanilla extract, maple syrup, and then a little pinch of the salt. And all this will be on the recipe card that we have available as well. So don't worry if you don't catch everything that I'm doing right here during the video. So I'm going to have this over here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to first add the milk just so that there's a liquid down there so the oats don't get burned. So we're going to do a cup of the milk. So let me go ahead and just measure out 1 cup milk. So we got 1 cup of our milk. We're going to add straight to the pot. And then we're going to also add 1 cup of the old-fashioned oats. So there's many kinds of oats out there. Now, oh, I'm spilling a little bit all over. Okay, let's move this over to the side. So there's a lot of different kinds of oats. There are rolled oats, there are steel cut oats, there's old-fashioned oats, and it's like, what is the difference between all these different types of oats, you might ask. We're gonna put that cup of oats just straight in here. Some are struggling on the little measuring cup, that's okay. Does not have to be perfect. This is a somewhat live demonstration, meaning I'm doing this without stopping, and so we're gonna go ahead and do the best we can, but it might not be perfect, and that's okay. We also, I forgot something to mix the oatmeal with. That's kind of important. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this little spatula. I'm going to mix those together. And we're going to keep going. I haven't forgotten about talking about the different kind of oats, so don't worry. But I want to make sure we get everything in the pot first before we go on. So we've got the oats, we've got the milk. We're going to add our berries. So I'm going to add the berries, which are already measured out. We're going to make sure all these berries get in there because they are delicious. Berries are so good for seniors. They say that blueberries specifically, which are in this mix, this is blueberries, raspberries, and I believe blackberries is what is in this frozen mix. They say that blueberries and berries in general are so good for seniors. They help actually with their antioxidant levels. They help keep them from getting disease, keep them from getting sick. They help, blueberries specifically are really, really healthy. They're known to help with, just increasing the wellness and health of seniors and people in general. So it's good to incorporate berries into anything, but specifically our oatmeal here, it's a really good thing to be able to incorporate them into. So we've got 1 cup of the oats, 1 cup of the milk, 1 cup of frozen berries, which they will release moisture, which is why we don't have as much milk. You're probably wondering if you've cooked oatmeal before, why don't they have a lot of milk in there? It's because of the berries. And then we're gonna add 1/4 of a teaspoon of the cinnamon. So I'm gonna grab that. And as I'm doing that, I'll show you when all of it is in there, what it's gonna look like. But I was talking about the different types of oats. So you might wonder, you've heard a lot about steel cut oats versus rolled oats versus, quick cook oats. So essentially what steel cut oats are is they take the, little oat bran and they just cut it. So they just cut, the oats. They don't actually press them at all. And so that's why they're chunky. Steel cut oats are extremely chunky. If someone likes that chunky texture, those are great to be able to make for them. And they have almost a nutty flavor to them because their flavor is even different. And like I said, they are like chunkier. So they're cut, they're not rolled. So when you see old-fashioned oats or rolled oats, those are oats that have been, they have been rolled and pressed, and it makes them quicker to be able to cook. And so that's like our oats that we have today are old-fashioned. They're quicker to be able to cook, which is great. And I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of the vanilla extract as well. So let's go ahead and add this. All right. So we added that, and then of course we're gonna add the maple syrup as well, which we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of our maple syrup. This is to sweeten it. So believe it or not, even though there's a lot of berries in here, it still needs sweetener. So if you've ever had anything with mixed berries before, they're not actually technically super sweet on their own. You definitely want to add a little sweetener. For us, what we're doing is we're adding this nice maple syrup because it's somewhat healthier for you than other sweeteners, believe it or not. So we've got everything mixed together. We forgot our pinch of salt. I will not forget that. Just a little tiny drizzle of salt. I'm gonna mix that together. I'm gonna show you some of the berries have already started to melt, which is a wonderful thing. And we're gonna go ahead and show you right now what it looks like. So come on over here. So this is our mixed berry oatmeal bowl going on over here, triple berry oatmeal bowl. So we're gonna let that actually just simmer. What we want to do is we want to crush some of the berries in there. It releases some more juice, helps the oats cook a little bit more. And so I'm going to go ahead and crush the berries a little bit. A lot of them actually already have been crushed, which is good. And so we're just going to let this simmer. You definitely want all of the oats to be cooked through. If you need to add a little more milk, it looks like mine actually might need a tad more milk. That's okay. We're just gonna add a dash more milk. It needs a little bit more moisture. And that again is the beauty of a live demonstration. You can add things and you can put it in the pot. All right, so that just looks and smells delicious. What we're gonna do to prepare for our other oatmeal over there, the cinnamon sugar oatmeal, is I'm just gonna go ahead and allow 1 cup of water to boil. And so what we're gonna do for that is I'm actually gonna grab my 1 cup measuring cup because I forgot it. So we're gonna go over here and grab my 1 cup. And I'm back. We're gonna go ahead and just allow the water to boil first before we add the oats. This is the most basic technique of cooking oatmeal, is you add the water first. So just 1 cup of water for every 1/2 cup of oats. I'm just gonna make 1/2 cup of these guys. That's a typical serving. This might last someone for, 2 days even, maybe even 3 days for a senior. So that is a lot more than the usual amount that people would eat, especially a senior. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that flame up. That's just water in there, just 1 cup of water. And we're going to add a little salt to that. And this is a very easy way to prepare oatmeal. It doesn't take a lot of time. I'm gonna turn my berry mixture over here, my berry oatmeal down a little bit. I'm gonna kind of give it just a little swirl. I definitely don't want it to burn. You wanna just let it simmer together over here. Okay, you can give it a little try. This is what I do to kind of test out how done it is. That is delicious. I'm gonna give it a little try. I'm cooking for myself right now, so I can try it and then put the spoon back in the pot, but you might want to do that with a different spoon if you're making it for your client. I'm just gonna go ahead and let that simmer. That's actually really tasty so far. And what we're gonna do at the end of that is we're gonna put it in a bowl. We're gonna top it with a little bit of that Greek yogurt, a little bit of the pecans, and it tastes so delicious. So I hope you really enjoy that recipe. And then over here, we're just gonna let this heat up until it starts to boil, which should be very soon. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of oats to that. which happens to be the rest in my little bowl I have over here. So we're gonna go ahead and add a half a cup, and I'm gonna measure it out right now. Yeah, we have a half a cup over here. We're just gonna add that straight to the pot over there. And then that way it's all ready to go. And that one is very basic. It's just with a little cinnamon and sugar. You can always add the Greek yogurt on top to make it creamy. You can add milk if they prefer milk. Totally up to your client and what their preferences are. It looks like our very berry, I always forget the name of this, triple berry oatmeal bowl. Seems our oatmeal is done for that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the heat off. I'm just going to let it sit on the stove, and I wanna just show you how tasty that looks. Look at all those yummy berries in there. The oatmeal, it's got cinnamon in it. It's got the maple syrup in it. It's delicious. It tastes creamy. It just looks yummy. I mean, it even looks pretty. It's like all purple, depending on what berries you use. So we're just gonna go ahead and set this over off to the side, away from the heat, and I'm gonna put this over here. And that is definitely boiling, if you can hear it. All I'm gonna do is just find my bowl. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna dump these oats straight in here. These will take no time at all to cook. I'm going to mix them around just with a little spoon. These are gonna be super quick. And while these take a couple moments to cook over there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually plate our berries that we are, can't remember the name, triple berry oatmeal bowl. We're gonna plate that real quick. And I've conveniently picked out a pink dish for that one because it's, you know, berries. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just gonna scoop some of this. I'll pan down so you can see. Scoop some of this straight into the bowl. This is a great way to spice up your oatmeal game. If you make oatmeal a lot for your client and they want something a little bit different, this is definitely different, and it's tasty and it's very easy to prepare. So we're gonna leave that over there. I've got our nice little berry oatmeal in this pink bowl. It looks so pink. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just dollop a little bit of that Greek yogurt right on top. It's so tasty when you eat it all together. So we've got a Greek yogurt on top, and then I'm going to add to it the pecans. You can also use a different kind of nut if you prefer. It does not have to be pecans. I'm just using pecans specifically because I enjoy them. They are tasty. I'm kind of crumbling them as I put them in here. You can definitely add as much or as little as you would like. This is a garnish, so the amount does not matter as much. It depends on what you prefer. And we're gonna go ahead and just crumble all this on top. And there we go. We have our triple berry oatmeal bowl topped with a little Greek yogurt and some crushed pecans up on the top, and it looks so tasty. I cannot wait to dive into that. We're gonna put that off to the side for right now. And this is gonna be for our cinnamon sugar one, but we have to add the cinnamon sugar. If you haven't noticed, we haven't done that yet. So we're gonna stir this around. These are already looking like they're getting very well cooked. With the cinnamon and sugar, here's the thing. You can totally use as much or as little as you would prefer. I already have cinnamon sugar mixed together, and your client might have that on hand as well. And so I just use a spoonful and then kind of swirl it around and see, how does it look? So typically a good heaping spoonful for a half a cup is plenty of cinnamon sugar. Depending on how sweet they like things, you might want to add more or you might want to add less. But I'm just gonna go ahead and add just one nice heaping spoonful. And I'm gonna add a little bit more. Yep, and I'm feeling sweet today. All right, so we're gonna mix all that in, and that is pretty much it for our cinnamon sugar oatmeal. Very simple. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. So with the oatmeal, you can prepare it in milk if they prefer it a little creamier. This is boiling quite nicely. It will be done in just a moment. If you can see that cinnamon and sugar has blended in quite nicely. You can top this, like I said, if you would like to, you can top it With the Greek yogurt, you can top it with you know, a little bit more cinnamon and sugar. Some people prefer brown sugar, white sugar, it doesn't matter. You can also just, you know, leave it as is. And you can use this method without adding the cinnamon and sugar to it, and that would prepare a nice, delicious oatmeal in general, and add whatever you like to it. And this is going to be done in just a moment. So I'm going to stir it around and they feel done. So these are definitely done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and I'm just going to go ahead and plate our cinnamon sugar oatmeal right away. It smells very, very delicious and warm. Okay, so we've got that going on. That just looks wonderful. Okay, so we're going to put that off to the side as well. If you notice, it's got like some really nice squishy oats in there. This is going to have more chewy oats if you cook it in water like we did. The milk in the oats in this one will help it clump together a little bit more. I know I'm using words that don't really sound very appetizing, but these are both methods that you can use to cook some delicious oats for your seniors. And so these are two options that we have for hot and fresh oatmeal. And I'm going to put these off to the side, and we're going to do our last one, which is the overnight oats. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of overnight oats, or if you had any interest in learning how to prepare them. They are so easy. I have to say, personally, this is one of my favorite breakfasts to be able to prepare and have just on hand, because it's just an easy grab and go in the morning. So all you need for this is we're going to use a mason jar. You want one with a lid. So a mason jar with a lid. I like the ones with handles because they're just easier to grab. We're going to use oats. We're going to use a banana. You can put different things in here. We're going to use a banana, a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of cinnamon, and we're going to be using some of the milk. So I'm going to show you how to do some easy overnight oats in just a moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some of the oats over here, if I can find my measuring cup. This is the thing with these kind of oats, is it depends on how large your cup is. So with my cup over here, you want your oats to fill up actually only about half of the cup. So that's why I'm not going to give you a measuring amount right now, because you want your oats to fill up about half of the cup. So I'm going to pour mine in to my cup, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in just a moment. If you add too many oats, it actually fills up too much to where you can't mix in all the other goodies. You can always add more oats afterwards, after you've mixed in all the other goodies, but you want the goodies to be in there too. So don't crowd out too much room. So this is about how much oats you want in a regular size mason jar, about half of your cup size. So keep that in mind, half your cup size. Okay, so now we're going to add the milk. I prefer almond milk or soy milk even, but if you have regular milk, that works just fine. So what we're going to do with the milk is we're going to add that next, because that will allow us to be able to stir everything together a lot easier. What you'll notice, so I'm going to go ahead and add our milk. What overnights essentially are, and we're going to need a little bit more milk than that. So essentially what overnight oats are is it's oatmeal, or oats, excuse me, oats that sit in milk all evening, and thus they retain the milk and they get squishy and able to eat. Essentially that's what overnight oats are. And so that's why you want to make sure that the milk gets all up in there. I'm just going to go ahead and stir this around. And it might seem like it's too liquidy, but the oats will actually soak up all this liquid. And then the next day when you go to eat it, it'll be nice and it'll be like it's cold oatmeal. So you eat this cold, I should say that too. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just mix it in. See how there's oats in there, but it's not totally solid, like there's still a lot of liquid. We want to make sure you get the bottom too, just to make sure that the milk gets all the way, excuse me, in that mason jar. And then what we're going to do for this one is I'm going to add some banana. This is going to be a super fancy way to to add this banana in here, I'm literally just gonna smush it with my hands. So not the best if you don't like bananas or if you don't want to get your hands all dirty, but I'm just gonna kind of break it up. Now this is a pretty ripe banana. I should have showed you the exterior. So it's pretty ripe. You don't wanna use a green banana for this because it will not be able to be mushed up and it won't be able to spread easily throughout the oats. Now, one of my favorite ways to prepare this is actually with peanut butter as well. But for today's sake, we're just gonna use a banana because not everyone can have peanut butter. So you can also add peanut butter. You can do even a little bit of chocolate. There's a lot of ways to do overnight oats. So what we're gonna do with that banana is we're gonna kind of just mush it in there. Just make sure it gets spread throughout. The smaller the pieces, the easier it is to get banana in every bite. So we're gonna kind of just smush it in. If you'll notice, it's looking pretty full now, whereas before it was a little bit more empty and liquidy looking. The more you add in there, the easier it is to just fill up. And you don't want it to go all the way to the top or else it will be hard to mix everything together. Okay. So we're gonna do this. There's some extra additions as well. So you can add peanut butter. You can also add protein powder, which we do have here in my kitchen. If you want any protein powder, that's a great addition. It helps with the flavor, it helps with keeping you full, and it's really good for seniors as well. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit of cinnamon and vanilla extract. So I'm gonna do about 1/4 teaspoon vanilla extract. Okay. And since it's gonna sit in it all evening, overnight, it's okay to add the vanilla extract. It won't make it too bitter. And then the cinnamon. I have to say the game changer of the overnight oats is 100% the cinnamon. It just makes it taste so much more delicious when you add the cinnamon to it. Now, of course, if you can't have cinnamon for some reason, or someone doesn't really care for cinnamon, you can definitely do without it. But in my opinion, the cinnamon is what makes the flavor taste amazing. And what I'm gonna do with our oats is I'm gonna add a little dollop of our Greek yogurt. If you have that on hand, that will help it with its creaminess. You don't need it in there, but it will help if you wanna make the oats even creamier. So we're gonna go ahead and add just a little scoop of that Greek yogurt right in there. I'm just gonna add another one for good measure. And we're gonna mix everything together like so. This is the easiest as far as what kind of dishes you'll need because you need 1 cup and that's it. This is an easy one, like I said, if you want to prepare it ahead of time for your clients to be able to have on hand, to be able to eat and to be able to just enjoy. They can enjoy this for multiple days. This is definitely more than 1 day's worth typically of breakfast. And so this is something that you can leave for them to be able to set them up for success if you'd like to, or you can make this yourself because this is a very easy meal to grab and go in the morning before your shift or anything like that. And then what you're gonna do is, I know it's very hard to see, but you can see all of it is all mixed together. The cinnamon, the sugar, let's see, you can't really see too much, but you can tell it's all in there because you watched me put it in there. And you're gonna go ahead and just put the lid on like so, and that's literally all you do. You stick it in the fridge and you let it sit overnight. I would say for at least a couple hours you can leave it up to a couple days. So that will stay really good. And it makes it a nice, easy to eat oatmeal for anyone who is pressed for time in the morning or who just needs something prepared to have on hand. This is a great option. And you eat this cold. You could technically heat it up, but this is eaten cold, whereas these are eaten warm. And that is it for our oatmeal series of tutorials with Cooking with Christina, Caregiver Edition. And thank you guys so much for joining, whoever is out there. We really appreciate you and we value you, and we hope that this has helped give you some different ideas, tips, and tricks on how to prepare meals that are healthy and delicious and nutritious for your seniors that you get to serve. And so that is it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enjoy a little bit of this oatmeal right here. So have a wonderful day. Very good. Very delicious. Enjoy.